back into the doggone into my room, and I'm, just my shorts and t-shirt on. That's it, no air conditioning. Like I said, my windows. I had a window here, and here. So I had a window here, in front, all around me, except the part going to the kitchen, of course. So that door stayed open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now on top of the fucking roof.
On the holy house, I went from dead to holy shit.
And then there was a tree right there next to my room. A tree, big old tree. And I heard something, like something just crashed into it, man. What the fuck is going on here, right? So again, I walk over there to the kitchen, over there to my mom and dad's bedroom. I'm like, all right, they're not going to believe me. So I start praying. I go back over there to my bedroom. Now here's the thing. I hear, and then I heard right in front of my fucking window with that two hands.
Oh, you got to see
right there in the middle of the driveway that I choose hands, and starts walking on two legs like that. Turns her head with that look of the, just the eyes is black and the beak and, and then it turns its body and starts to walk towards me, stops, and just stares at me. And I'm staring back at this little thing. Well, it's nothing, but it's about this tall.
No, they're not
it's about this tall. It's about this tall.
About the size of a small child, you think?
Yeah, about a 3-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah. Huge freaking bird.
Mm-hmm. We've seen it.
I'm praying. I'm like, God help me. This was the time I was going to church,
Oh, it is.
And I'm like, I'm just kind of frozen there, right? And so it gets back on the roof, and again,
Bitch was pacing.
I hear it go over there to the front of the house, right? And I'm praying hard.
So you first heard it in the kitchen, moving somewhere.
I heard something moving in the kitchen.
And then you heard it outside.
And then I heard it on the roof, crash into the tree. Then I heard
Onto the ground.
under the ground.
And then the walk.
Looked at me, walked the other way, turned around, looked at me, stopped, stared at me, got back up on the tree, walked back to the other end, on top of the roof.
It happened again.
It happened again.
There was something hissing over there.
If you don't like my story, come and touch this, and I'll stop.
It can't be like the air conditioning, can it?
No,
it's not.
no.
It's not.
And so,
And my ringer's down off, so.
anyways, the next day, and this is no lie, the next morning, we had a little table right there in the kitchen, backed up against the wall, where Mama had the calendar, right there in the old rotary phone, right there. And on the wall, I said, "What, Mamacita, what is that?" And I could see like this name in the thin freaking letters, man, that made out the name Ralph.
Ralph?
Ralph. The name of the man who owned that house was named
AC kicked in.
Ralph Riojas.
Oh,
And that was told to us by the landlady, whose last name was Riojas. But I didn't know who that person was, but I heard stories that he was a real evil man. After we moved out, Mama got told by the landlord, which was that no one could live in that house.
That's your voice.
There were people, nobody could live in that house after us.
Footsteps.
So the only person that could live there was the brother, who still is there now. And his name is Jesse or something like that. What else? And the house, I pass by it every single freaking day. I pass by it every day. And every time I look at that house, I get this, it's an evil, man. And you could feel the evil in there, man. I don't know who this guy was, but he was evil. He was...
Who, the guy that lived there?
The guy who lived there and owned that place and died. He died there in that house. I didn't know that. Apparently so.
That's what I say. He haunts it.
You know, that's his house. I mean, that's literally almost out of the goddamn movie, The Conjuring Part 2. My house.
What did it have
Surprised I
to?
never saw that shit or heard that. But I heard him. I never saw him. Never saw him. You know, man, the fucking door would open up to my bedroom and open like that and shut. I got used to. You get used to this shit, man. You
Yeah,
don't.
you just kind of ignore
Right,
it.
like
know?
our house.
Because I was like,
But-
my parents didn't believe me.
What did that house have to do with La Lechuza? Do you think?
I don't know. Evil? But the lechuza is, I don't know. I've heard that all owls are protectors. They're messengers.
I always heard owls of death.
See, they bring a message that could be death.
Because that's
Could
what
be.
I've heard.
But they're considered messengers. Now, not talking about the great horned owls that the Native Americans use, but they also spoke about the lechuzas, which is the barn. They're called barn owls, white barn owl.
Mm.
And their face looks like a freaking woman's face, man.
And
Okay.
what did the one that you encountered there? What did that one look like? You said it had black eyes,
Yeah, it looked like a woman's face.
a woman's eyes, a woman's face, but on an owl, right? But a
Bird.
beak. You said it had a beak.
Like a bird.
You looking for your phone?
It's charging. Do you have internet?
Well, yeah, but my phone's charging.
Oh, you use your phone on?
It's on, but it's on airplane mode
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
okay.
There's a road that runs that
All
way
right.
to
Anyways,
Crawford.
yeah, but
Okay, somebody comes
it
through.
was just, you know, you talk about cryptids and monsters on your page. That's about the only cryptid that I, you know, besides
Experience.
Bigfoot, that I believe in. Do I believe in Bigfoot? Possibly.
Like it or not.
Do I believe in a lot of this folklore stuff? I do. My grandmother swore up and down, and she would tell us that here at these houses, where she had one of her cousins lived right there, one of those houses. I don't remember.
Nearby the
but
Presidio?
right here, right one of those houses.
Across the street.
Yeah,
right
okay.
there.
And she swore up and down. She said she got a knock on the door. More than one occasion, she would open. There was no one there.
We get that at my house.
But there was these other times where and she went and opened up the door, and it was a soldier dressed at this time period. She didn't think nothing of it. She was an older lady, you know. She thought it was, and the person wanted to have something to drink. They wanted some water. Well, I need some water. Can I please have some water? And they walked in and sat down at the table, and she turned around to get her water. When she turned around to give it to the guy, he was gone.
Oh wow.
So, now these are grandma stories. I can't tell
Yeah,
you.
stories.
The grandma stories are the ones that they swore up and down. They were down there by the river because my grandma lived right there on the San Antonio River, 4-hour ranch right up the road from here. And you want to talk about the ranch that they lived in. When they turned out all the lights of the house, it was black out. If the moon wasn't out, it was pitch
Yeah,
black.
you can't even see your hand because that's how it gets at our
There was
property,
no
too.
lights out there. It was. And this, I remember this, and I spent the night out there. Never forget that. The most eeriest feeling I ever felt in my life. And I was outside, and I couldn't even see except the candle burning to my grandma's house. That's how I got back. I had the dogs with me, which I wasn't afraid. But my grandma swore up and down so many times. They were down there by the river fishing. Of course, when she was younger, and they would see this mist appear over the river, and it had a lady. She could see a lady floating over the water, crying.
No, you don't know.
Say what you want to say. I can't say. That's what she told me. The only thing that ever happened to me down there, I was with the 2 dogs. I was fishing. I was 13 years old. I had my gun with me, and I'm with my 22. And I was fishing down there with the dogs, and all of a sudden, it was about 8 o'clock. I had a little lantern going. I had my lantern, and once it got dark, I was like, well, I was catching catfish, man. I was like, shit, I'm staying. I had plenty of worms, and I had my dogs. I was like, and the dogs were very protective, right? Well, the light, when you're down there at the river, the light is, you can see right here, but you turn around to look up over here at the woods, and it's dark. Okay, you don't see nothing over there.
You don't see a surrounding area right
Right.
around you.
Both dogs, all of a sudden, got up, and their hair stood up, man, and their freaking back, and they're looking just towards, and both of them just like that, pissing on each. They pissed right there where they stood, which told me they were scared.
But they were still.
But they were standing in their ground. You know,
Wow.
They were standing in their ground, and I was right here. They got in between me. You know, I was right there, and I got my gun, and I heard, whoa, 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 whoa.
Like big, heavy footsteps?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You just met the devil.
Bigfoot? Or-
That's what my grandma said.
You just encountered the devil, but you didn't see him.
That's
The dogs
exactly
did.
what my mama said. What my grandma said.
So this was out in the open.
Oh, no, I was fishing. I was down by the river.
He was down by the river.
I was down by the river, right here in San Antonio River, at my grandma's ranch. I was 13 years old. Like I said, I went down there with the dogs, had my lantern. I was catching catfish, and I was catching catfish. So I'm like, I'm staying, you know. And like I said, I had the lantern going. And like I said, when you got the lantern going real bright, you can't see anything. It's a lantern, you know. You see the water, and right there where you're around. But if you turn around, because
all black.
you're all going down like this towards the river. It's coming down. You're down there in the bank.
Like a slope?
So yeah, so you don't see nothing except the tree line up there, and you know,
If the moon's out.
yeah. And I don't remember if the moon was out on that night. I don't remember anything. All I remember is
What you
what I heard.
Yeah.
Like I said, the dogs and boom, 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 boom. As
It was fading away.
Yeah. And after that, the dogs.
But if those dogs weren't there, it would have probably been a different story.
I would have been down there without the dogs. No. My grandma said you. And those dogs would follow all of us kids, which is 3 of us that would like to go. Me and my 2 other cousins, you know. And that's the way it was back in those days. They didn't have a problem with us because our dads taught us how to fish, how to take care, how to shoot the gun, you know, how to take care of ourselves, you know. They would tell us about there would be wild hogs out there, in which I saw wild hogs, javelinas. They can attack you, but the dogs will take care of you. The dogs would take care of us, and they did. But that time, this was 2 legs. This was not. It was 2 fucking legs, man.
You can you decipher if it's human feet or if it's the dog feet because it's like a
Or another animal.
yeah.
Another animal, you know.
But with 2
Was it
feet,
something something not of this world? I couldn't tell you. Grandma said, "Mijito era el diablo que andaba allá arriba buscando a una alma, looking for a soul."
looking for so.
So this is grandma talk, man. Grandmas of that time said some shit. They'd sit there at the table and make it.
Devil
How the hell
never
am I gonna go to sleep now,
Like
grandma?
grandma, she won't let us chew gum after midnight.
Grandma would not
Yeah,
let us do a lot. She wouldn't
yeah,
let us
she
sleep
said that
after midnight. She wouldn't let us
If we
eat
would,
gum
if we
after
were
midnight.
chew
We
gum,
couldn't play
we were
cards.
shooting bones.
Yeah.
Dead bones. If we chewed gum after midnight, she would not let us chew gum. We couldn't play games after midnight. There's a lot of stuff we couldn't do.
They say that if you at midnight, if you play cards,
You play with the devil.
you're inviting the devil to play
mhm.
cards with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was always the thing of from midnight to 1. You know, it was, and 3 o'clock was the worst for my grandmother. If you were up at 3 o'clock, there was a reason why you were up at 3 o'clock because I woken up at 3 o'clock right on the fucking money.
I always wake up
Explain
around that time to
Explain
go to the
that
restroom.
one.
I wake up at 6.
Explain that one. Okay, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Just woke up. And
But
heard
when
that.
I wake up,
I heard that.
I just have to use the restroom
That
every
popping
time I
sound?
wake up.
I heard the popping sound.
I heard that.
What did your dad think that thing was that was casting the shadow on the screen?
He thought it was another man. He thought it was another man looking there at him and my mom. I wasn't home. He told me this. My mom and dad told me this. Because they sat me down. They wanted some information on what it was exactly that I've been hearing. All of a sudden, I got a little bit of a break thinking they thought maybe somebody was in the house. I said, I've been up and down. I've already told you. I'm in the bedroom. In my bedroom, I could hear dum, 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 dum. 2 feet. Not, I know when someone is walking. And I know when someone is, and then, like they were doing it on purpose to scare me to, hell, man. My mom even brought a priest over there, Fernando.
You gonna come join us over here in this room?
Brought a priest over there.
You're more than
And
welcome to.
when he came over there to the house, he said, "I got Maria Purísima." He said he was cold when he walked in there in the house. I mean, he walked in, and I was having some issues at that time in my life. So my mom wanted him to talk to me, and so he walked over there to my room, and my dad was standing there at the doorway. He sat down in front of me, and I had this fucking hatred for that priest being there, dude. I didn't want him there, and I kept glaring at him and glaring at him and glaring at him, and I was like, I don't want to talk to no priest. I'm not possessed or nothing like that. So he told my mom and my dad that I had an evil spirit inside of me, and that house had a lot of evil in it. My dad said, "Get the fuck out of here! What the fuck you talking about?" My dad didn't believe in that shit, you know. He want no, but my mom believed him, believed that man, believed that priest. I believe that priest now, you know. From the shit that I've gone through, the shit that I've seen, and the shit that I went through in that house. My ex-wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, experienced these things there as well. And God forbid, I don't know if that was the kind of shit that followed us over here. You know, I don't know. You know,
I don't think. I don't think that you're.
I just saw a fucking hand, dude, on that door like that. Dude.
Where?
A hand on the fucking door.
What door?
That door right there where that goddamn
kitchen
my
door.
camera's at.
The kitchen.
Like this, like it was holding it like that. Now I'm seeing things, dude. Now I'm seeing things.
Like a finger went. Fingers.
Like a whole
went
hand holding it like this, and went like
Oh my God.
that.
It could be.
All right. En el nombre del Padre de Jesús Cristo, tú no vas a jugar conmigo.
So I don't think that you were being possessed. I just think that they had. It's like the evil spirit is like looming over you, trying to trying to get you, trying to be able to conquer you.
Yeah.
But you just weren't.
I'm gonna play that.
What's that word called? You weren't
Susceptible.
just yet. It's like little by little, and nobody wanted to believe you, and you were just kind of like wanting to give up, like nobody believe in me, this and this and that, and that's why you were getting that feeling towards that priest, like I don't want you here, because he was already getting close to getting
vibe.
to you.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Oh my gosh.
Agreed.
I'm trying to find where that hissing sound comes from.
That hissing?
Yeah.
That or that popping.
For the first time in my life in here,
I don't think it's my
I just
thing,
got
but get next to it and see it
like a
besides
bad
those two
feeling for the
noises
first
that it
time here at
makes.
this place, that I get a bad feeling just now. Looking at that. I don't know if someone's fucking with me, but I don't play that kind of shit. That's why I said what I just said. Because now I'm starting to get angry at that. And he ain't gonna mess with me.
Yeah, the hissing sound is
Is
the
it my
camera.
thing?
Yeah.
What is it?
When the camera makes a click, then it does that hissing sound.
Apple
Oh,
cinnamon.
like that? Like,
Of course. Had
No,
to have
but it
big
goes-
cinnamon.
It does that hiss
Yeah.
sound.
I can't have
So
cinnamon.
that one is debunked,
good.
but
Sometimes
Not
when
the
I
hand.
eat,
but not the
something with
hand or the
cinnamon, my throat
footsteps.
starts like, I feel like it's closing. I can't swallow.
You guys want to do one in here? Or what do you want to do? Because this stuff is hot right
Alright,
now.
everyone. Let me
I
end
say
this
one
session
here.
right here.
Put
You want
that
to do it here?
Good stuff.
thing. You should.